plus 11x plus 5a. Find the value of a. Okay. Acha, one more thing. Avni, do you have any reference books like apart from the NCERT textbook? Do you have
Yes,
any other
ma'am.
books? Which book do you have?
Have a guide.
Which one? The
Um,
name of the book or the author?
1 minute. Ma'am, this is the name.
Wait, are you showing something?
No, no, I sent it you. I sent you in chat.
Arihant. Okay, fine. Um, all right. Acha, there are some other students also who all have joined. Munir and Zain. Acha, Munir and Zain, please tell me your syllabus for the upcoming test and when is your test. Zain, you go first. Yes. Zain, can you hear me? Munir,
Yes, ma'am.
syllabus for your upcoming test and the date of the test.
And 1 minute.
Avni, till then you solve this question, please. Are you doing it? Munir, what is taking forever, dear?
Ma'am, I don't know the exact date.
Okay, but do you know the syllabus?
Um, all chapters are coming.
Your exam, the upcoming exam, is it going to
Yes,
be
no.
a
Annual
periodic
exam.
test
No,
or a
ma'am.
final annual exam?
Yes, fine.
Annual exam. And approximately in which month? Feb,
Yes, ma'am. Fine.
Feb. All chapters from uh, the like there's no chapter being skipped.
Yes, ma'am.
All the chapters, right? From 1 to 15.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Fine. All right, so we are revising polynomials. This is the question. If this is a factor of this, then find the value of a. So what do we do in this case? We write p of x is equal to 2x cube minus 7x square plus 11x plus 5a. This is a over here. Okay. And this is our g of x. If you want, you can call it g of x. Okay. Now they are saying if this is a factor of this, we know instead of a, let me make it k. Okay. There's a reason why I'm doing this. It's okay. It can be any variable, doesn't really matter. The reason I'm doing it is because this particular thing, we know that the factor theorem, what does it say? Will someone tell me? It says that if p of x is a polynomial, okay, it is a polynomial, and if x minus a is a factor of p of x, then p of a is 0. And it also says that if p of some number, let's say a, or let's make it b this time. If p of b is 0, then x minus b will be a factor of px. Okay, so that is what's happening here, that if x minus 2 is a factor of this polynomial px, so since x minus 2 is a factor of px, therefore p of 2 will be 0 by factor theorem. Okay, so p of 2 is 0. That means we need to find p of 2. So p of x is this thing. So in that place, you just put 2. Okay, so 2, and then in place of x, just keep putting 2 everywhere. Tell me the final answer. Hmm? Someone tell me the final answer.
What
Okay,
is the
p of
last one?
which one?
It's 5K,
5k.
right?
Yeah, it will be k itself, because in the question it was given to us as k. K could be any constant. Like it could be any number. So in the question, actually it was given to us as 5a, but I wanted to explain this a thing to you. So I thought you might get confused. So that's why I didn't write a over there. We changed it to k. Okay, it doesn't really matter. It could be anything. M, L, whatever. Okay, so this is 0. In place of k, we are not putting anything because K is a constant. In place of x, we put 2 because p of x, this polynomial was p of x and p of 2 is 0. So that means 10 plus 5k equals 0. That means 5k equals minus 10. That means k equals minus 2. Okay. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. All right. Let's do the next one. Okay, a similar question.
Can you solve this question?
Which
I have
one?
a doubt.
Hmm.
Find the value of m so that 2x minus 1 be a factor of 8x power 4 plus 8x cube plus 16x square plus 10x plus m.
Is this the question? Just read it again. Find m.
Find, yeah,
So that 2x minus 1 is a factor
yes,
of, read the big polynomial again.
8x power 4 plus 4x cube
Acha, it's
minus,
4x cube, na? 4x
yeah,
cube. Then
minus
minus
16 square
16x square.
plus
Then
10x plus m.
10x plus m. Okay, fine. So the question is find m so that 2x minus 1 is a factor of this big polynomial. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this is a very similar question. The same thing we're going to use. We're going to use the factor theorem here. So now the only tricky part in this question is to find out what is your a. Okay, because according to the factor theorem, again, your p of x, this thing over here, this is your p of x. This will happen to be 0. It will turn out to be 0 if x minus a, if x minus a is a factor. If x minus a is a factor. So they are giving us in the question that this thing is a factor, right? And what is this thing? You can compare it with x minus a. So you can say that this is your g of x. So this thing over here is your p of x and your g of x is 2x minus 1. You compare this with x minus a because according to the factor theorem, x minus a is a factor, right? So if you compare this with x minus a, you can say that this is, you can equate it to 0. That is the trick that we use. We just equate it to 0. So now from here you can see that 2x equals 1, x equals half. So this is the value of your a. This is the value of your a. Okay, this a that we were talking about. Okay, so from here we found out that x, your a equals half. You can write it x equals half, you can write a equals half, same thing. Doesn't, it's not going to make a difference in your answer. Okay, now, so how will you
Ma'am,
write it? What is the way of writing? Yes, Abdul Rahman.
I joined kind of late in the class, so can you explain it all over?
Sorry, dear, it's your fault you joined late. You please go through the recording. Okay, after the class is done, please go through the recording of the class and we
But
have just
ma'am,
now
we
started with the
weren't
second
given
question.
a proper timetable to come.
Dear, everyone else has joined on time, na? So we have started with the second question. We are going through revision of polynomials. Okay. The first question we have done,
Ma'am,
you can go to the recording.
did
Just
you
a minute.
take class yesterday?
No, not yesterday. Our previous class was on Sunday. Okay. So we write it like this. 2x minus 1 is a factor of px is equal to this entire thing. Therefore, so if 2x minus 1 is its factor, therefore p of 1 by 2, p of 1 by 2 is going to be equal to 0. So what you're going to do now is in place of x, just keep putting 1 by 2. So p of 1 by 2 is 8. Just calculate this. In place of x, put 1 by 2. And then the m will be as it is at the end. And then we know that p of 1 by 2 is 0. So on the LHS, we will write 0. What is the value of m that you guys are getting?
Ma'am, -2.
Minus 2. Okay. Others? So here the main part of the question, the tricky part of the question was just to figure out what is your A over here? What is the thing that you're going to put into this bracket? After that, everything is just calculation. So if you're finding it confusing, all you can do is just equate it to 0. Okay. Equate it to 0. And then you will, whatever the value of x comes out to be, that is your A. Okay. Next question, anyone? Does anyone have a doubt? Any specific question from this chapter? You can go through your previous question papers, your half yearlies and everything. Uh, okay, let's do a different question. If x plus 1 and x minus 1 are factors of p of x is equal to ax cube plus x squared minus 2x plus b. Find the values of a and b. see, now the thing is, if you notice, the previous questions were also like this. If this is a factor, then find the value of k. But now the difference is that over here there are two unknowns. There are two unknowns, a and b, right? A and b are the unknowns, and that is why they have given us two of these smaller polynomials. Over here there was only one unknown, only k was unknown, so they gave us only one condition, right? So always remember, if you ever want to find out some number of unknowns are there, you want to find out those unknowns, you need to have that many, at least that many number of conditions. Okay. So here two conditions are given. So first, let's take the first condition, which is x plus 1. Okay. Your g of x is x plus 1. So can you guess what is going to be your a from here? Not this a. We're not talking about this a. We're talking about the a from the factor theorem. It's going to be minus 1, right? So from here, g of x is this. You just equate it to 0. That means your x comes out to be equal to minus 1. So that means p of minus 1 will be 0 according to the factor theorem. Once again, for those of you who have joined late, I will just repeat the factor theorem. Factor theorem said that if there's a polynomial, let's call it px, if x minus a is any number, it could be a fraction, it could be any number. If x minus a is a factor of px, then p of a will be 0 and vice versa. Meaning that if p of a is 0, then x minus a will be a factor of that polynomial. Okay, and this is something that we saw as well. So anyway, so now let's calculate. There we have seen in the first case that this is our x plus 1 is our gx. That means in place of x we put minus 1. So p of minus 1 is 0. So now let's just put it over there. P of minus 1. Just put minus 1 in place of x. Everything else will remain as it is. A will remain as it is. So you should get an equation something like this. Okay. So this is your equation number 1. Name it equation number 1. Now from the second condition that is given, your g of x is x minus 1. So from here, x is equal to, when you equate it to 0, x becomes equal to plus 1. So p of plus 1 is 0. So just put 1 in place of x in your original polynomial, p of x. Ax cube plus, oh sorry, in place of x we have to put 1, right? Okay. So you will get the second equation. So you have two equations. Now, this is something that you will learn how to do in higher classes, but we can just take a look at it, how to solve two equations. Okay. So what you can do is you can just add equation 1 and equation 2. There are three different ways of solving two equations with two variables. See, in ninth grade, you studied linear equations in two variables, right? But you didn't study the solution of it. In 10th grade, you're going to study the solution of this also, that there are three ways in which we can solve two equations in two variables. So here, A and B are some variables, right? So one way that you can do it is you can you can say A is equal to, take everything else to the other side from the second equation, it becomes 1 minus B. This is called the method of substitution. You don't have to learn all that, but this is just something that will help you not be confused. So A, you write A and you take everything else on the other side, so it becomes plus 1 minus B. This value of A you put in the first equation. Okay, put in equation 1. Okay, so in place of A you put 1 minus B. So equation 1 becomes, in place of A, there's this minus in front of A. In place of A, you put 1 minus B. Okay, just a minute. A is your 1 minus B. Plus B plus 3 equals 0. Now open the bracket. Minus 1 plus B plus B plus 3 equals 0. B plus B gives you 2B, and 3 minus 1 gives you 2 equals 0. So from here you get B equals minus 2 by 2, which is equal to minus 1. So from here you get B equals minus 1. Okay, remember the yellow equation that we highlighted before? Yeah, so you put this in that equation. Put in equation 3. I just named it equation 3. So you put the value of B in equation 3. So A equals 1 minus B, which is 1. So that is 0. So A is equal to 0. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Just a minute. B is equal to minus 1, right? Sorry. So 1 minus minus 1, which is 1 plus 1, which is 2. That means A is equal to 2. So these are your final answers. Let me know when you're done. Let's do some MCQs, okay? Root 5 is a polynomial of degree, and options are these are your options. Root 5 is a polynomial of degree. Yes. What do you guys think? Avni?
Ma'am.
Yeah, what do you think is the answer?
Ma'am, I didn't solve. Wait 1 minute.
There's nothing to solve in this. But okay, give it a try. Hmm. Okay. Munir,
Yes, ma'am.
answer please.
Ma'am, is it 1 by 2?
Acha. So Avni saying 1/2. Munir, what do you think? Does everyone think 1/2, or is there someone who thinks that it could be something else? Abdul Jabbar, what do you think? See, if you cannot have a polynomial of degree half. It's not possible. Why? Because polynomial means, if you remember, the powers of x. See, it doesn't matter whatever is the coefficient of x. Whatever we have, the coefficient of x, what is being multiplied with x, we don't really care about that. It could be anything. Okay. But the powers of x, they have to be whole numbers. It has to be whole numbers. The powers of x. It cannot be fractions, and it cannot be fractions. For example, you cannot have x to the power half, meaning root x. That cannot be a polynomial. Okay, and it also cannot be negative. So for example, x to the power -1, meaning 1 by x, this also cannot be a polynomial. Okay, root 5, is it a polynomial or not? You guys tell me. What do you think? Is it a polynomial or not? Okay. Can we write root 5? Acha, forget about root 5. Is 1 a polynomial? Just 1. The number 1. Is it a polynomial? Avni, what do you think? This 1. Is it a
Yes, ma'am.
polynomial? It is. Okay. Why is it a polynomial? There's no x in here. Abdul Jabbar, why is this a polynomial? Even though there's no x over here. See, 1 can be written as 1 multiplied by x to the power, or you can write it as 1 multiplied by 1, right? 1 can be written as 1 multiplied by 1. And this other one, this can be written as x to the power 0, because anything to the power 0 is 1, and we know that. So this is basically 1x to the power 0, because if it was just 1x to the power 1, this would be x, which is different from 1. So 1x to the power 0. This is a polynomial because we said it should be whole number. And we know that 0 is a whole number, right? The power should be a whole number, and 0 is a whole number. So yes, this is a polynomial. Similarly, if you have something like 5 by 13, is this a polynomial? Yes, it is, because it can be written as 5 by 13 x to the power 0. So it is a polynomial. Similarly, what about, now let's come to our main question, which was root 5. Now tell me, what do you guys think? Do you still think that it is not a polynomial, or do you think it is a polynomial? If you think it is a polynomial, what can we write it as? We can write it as root 5 into x to the power 0. Okay. So this is a polynomial. It is. Now from here, can you tell me what is the degree of this polynomial? The degree of this polynomial is 0. So the degree of this polynomial is 0. Is this clear to everyone? Yes or no? Do you want me to repeat? I can repeat. Okay. We'll do another question. Hmm. Just a minute. Let me see. Chalo, okay, we'll do this question. It's also an MCQ. One of the factors of 36x square minus 1 plus 1 plus 6x the whole square is, and then there are options. 6x minus 1, 6x plus 1, 6x, 6 minus x. So they're asking you, out of these, which of the following is a factor of this polynomial? So let's just try to expand it. Okay, instead of expanding it, let's do one thing. 6x minus 1 plus 1 plus 6x the whole square. See, this can be written as 6x ka whole square minus 1, right? Because 36x square can be written as 6x ka whole square minus 1 plus this can be written as 1 plus 6x ka whole square. That's not going to get us anywhere. Okay, let's just expand it. So this can be written as 36x square minus 1 plus. Now, what is the identity? A plus B whole square. This plus this whole square. It is A square plus 2AB, 2 into 1 into 6x plus B square, which is 36x squared. So here we have 36x squared minus 1 plus 1 plus 12x plus 36x squared. This is equal to 72x squared plus 12x. If you try taking 12x as common, you will get 12 6 are 72. So if I take 12x as common, from the first term, I will get 6x as common. Sorry, 6x from the first term, and then plus 1, the second term. So we can see that this particular polynomial that we started out with, it has two factors, namely, or you can say three factors, namely 12, x, and 6x plus 1. So one of the factors is 6x plus 1. So option B. Is this clear?
I'm clear.
Okay. We will do questions on factorization in the next class, okay? Right now, let's.
For factorization, could you solve this question?
Sorry?
For factorization, can you solve this question?
I was thinking we can do the factorization wala questions in the next class because that's a lot of questions based on factorization. I was thinking something like everything before factorization, we can do it in today's class. And that your question which you are saying, we can do it in the next class. What do you say? You want to do it now itself?
No, we can do it in next class.
Okay. Do you have
We
any
can
other questions based on this?
the suitable identity one.
Identity is also the same thing, factorization.
Hmm.
Okay. Let's say we don't really have many different types of questions for this. Can you show me RD? Just a minute. Okay, so for those of you who have guidebooks, I would really suggest taking some questions from the guidebooks, solve them on your own, and the questions which you are finding confusing or which you're getting, which you're feeling like they're difficult, you can ask me. Okay, then we will do them in the class together.
Ma'am.
Polynomials. Chalo, okay. Avni will do one thing. We'll just go with your question. Okay, the one you had on factorization. Let's just do that.
Okay, ma'am. One.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll just do the factorization question itself because
Yes.
there are not many different types of questions based on the this thing that we were doing. Huh.
Okay, ma'am. 9y square minus 66yz
Hmm.
plus 121z square.
You have to factorize this. Yes. Okay. See, identify this. The first one can be written as 3y whole square. Now, don't come to the second term. Okay, go to the last term. 121 can be written as 11, and then you have z, so 11z whole square. So that means your a is 3y and b is 11z. So that means minus 2a into b. A is 3y, b is 11z. So just see if you are getting 66 from what we have written in the middle. So this is 6 into 11. Yes, 66. So what we have gotten here is a square minus 2ab plus b square. This is your a and this is your b. So this is a minus b whole square, right? We know that a square minus 2ab plus b square is a minus b whole square. So this is 3y minus b is what? 11z whole square. Yes, another question you had, Avni?
Ma'am, it's like factorization type of
हाँ
like
हाँ
okay.
हाँ
So
see
bracket 2x plus 1 by 3
2x plus 1 by 3
whole square
whole square
plus minus
minus
x bracket x minus 1 by 2 whole square.
this you have to factorize.
Yes.
Okay, see, you can see that this is a square minus b square, right? This is your a, this is your b, and we know the identity a square minus b square can be factorized as a minus b into a plus b, or you can say a plus b into a minus b, same thing. Okay,